Hi everybody, it's Tatiana and today I'm coming to do a quick review of Brown Girl in the Ring by Nalo Hopkinson. This is the first book that I have read by Hopkinson, and is this her debut novel? I'm not 100% sure, but this is the book that I had heard talked about a lot when I first started looking for other African American science fiction writers. I wasn't going to do a review of this, but I changed my mind because this is a book that actually happened as of with me finishing the story in a way where some people would have just stopped reading. It took me 2 tries to get into this story. I picked it up last year and it just wasn't the right time when I picked it up, and I really didn't think that this time was going to be the right time because I just started reading it and it wasn't meshing with me, and I was just having a really hard time getting into the flow of the dialects in this story. I'm not going to go into a synopsis of what the plot is because the back of it does it very well. If you're interested in reading it or have been thinking about reading it, hopefully this review will convince you to do so. But again, yes, it took me 2 tries to get into it, and as I got started reading it, I want to say I was about halfway through. And I was like, how is this going to wrap up? Because there was so much that took place in the first half of the book, but I didn't think as I was reading along that you had really moved along well in the story with the development of the characters for what I thought as I was reading was going to happen in the story. It's totally fine. It was so good, and the ending of this was so good. I did not know that there were going to be some of the themes and things that I have been reading in a lot of books. It is set in Toronto, and I really like the way that the city of Toronto and the area where the main character lives, and I don't know if it's Tijine or Tajine, not sure how it's pronounced, but I really like the way that that area is described, and you are really put in this donut hole of an area that she lives in, and the people that are around her in her community. You really get a feel for what this community is made up of, as well as how she is viewed in this community. Tijine, however you say it, is a character that is going to get on your nerves just a little bit, but the reason why she gets on your nerves, or the way she gets on your nerves, is not something that's so far-fetched and overdone in this story. I think there's a good mix of someone who's trying to make their own way and discover what their own path is, while also trying to be somewhat the type of person that the person who's raised her wants to be, and then also the person that she needs to be for the people who depend on her, and to be as young as she is with these, with these identities that she has to deal with and wrestle with. The things about Tijine that got on my nerves were completely understandable, and if it were a real person, they would get on my nerves as well, but you still do the work that you need to do with that person, so you still keep reading the book. I really enjoyed the way that the characters are connected in this story, and how some of the connections you don't see coming. And yeah, it's just a really nice community that is in. That's really weird to say, but the way that it's set up, if you read the story, you know why that's really weird to say that it's a nice community. But the people that make up this community, you have the whole scope of the human experience in this community, and it was just really nice to see how all of these people were connected in one way or another, and then to see the story come to fruition. And it wasn't somebody learning something all of a sudden and having this full understanding of everything that their life now encompasses. The character is learning as the story goes along, and when the story is finished, there are still things for the character to learn about the work she does, or is growing into doing, the person that she's growing into being, this new life that she is going to have to grow into living, and how again those things are going to converge on each other. This was a really good commentary on growing up, a coming of age story, so to speak, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Just, this was so good. And I didn't think that I was gonna really like this when I first started reading it, because I was like, man, Nalo Hawkinson is one of Njeri's favorite authors, or is Njeri's favorite author, and God forbid if I read this story and I don't like it and I gotta get on here and disappoint her whole soul. And that's not the case. Also, I have 2 other books by Nalo Hawkinson, and so if I didn't like this, would I want to even read the other 2 books? I really enjoyed this, and I think the more I think on it, the more I'm going to realize I like it. So yeah, that is all that I have to say about this. I hope this made sense. God help me in editing this if it didn't, but hopefully it made sense. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good weekend, whenever you see this video. Peace out.